Hey everybody, we're back out here about ready to get to some work done. Now, I'm still waiting on a bunch of stuff, so what I decided to do today is I've been kind of slacking on this. I need to get my other bucket seat mounted. Now these are, if I remember, it's 08 GT500 seats. So there's some modifications we have to do to make these bucket seats work. Now that's what I'm going to go through with you today. So it's pretty easy. There's some cutting involved and there's some spacers involved and so on, but we're going to get to that. So let's go.
In my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stop.
So first things first, we're going to look at these GT500 seats. Very nice seats, leather. This is the passenger seat, so we don't have electronics in it, just our normal bar. So the first thing we have to do is we got to cut these bolts off because we got to remove these brackets. We want this flat section here. And once we do that, then we need to cut this part of this bracket off. We just need to clean it up, otherwise it hits the floor. So basically we'll come up here, cut up and cut this even almost, to make sure it's not impacting the way it sits. So that's what we're about to start with. So I'm going to do a little time lapse of just cutting this stuff apart real quick and we'll go from there. Alright, so I got that drilled out, and we're going to have a longer bolt on the inside and a shorter bolt on the outside. This actually might not be long enough, but either way, on the inside we have a bigger area to go through. And what I like to do is I'll go ahead and put this in the car and bolt it down, and then I can work on my back brackets. So I'm going to bring you over here to the car. So we'll bolt it down here and here. But I need to make my back brackets probably first, just so I can sit them in place. Because what I do is I use 1-inch square tubing, and that is how I basically drill a hole in it, and I put a bolt through it and weld the bolt in, and then we can use that for our back. But by putting it up here and getting everything straightened out the way I want to, I can make sure I get it to where it needs to be. And do some tack welds of those. So I should probably go ahead and cut those pieces and go ahead and make those before I bolt this in. That way I have a little bit of wiggle room to find out where they are. So that's what I'm about to do. Alright, so see, here we go. It's kind of hard to see, it's a little blurry, but I've got those bolts welded in there. So we got nice solid welds holding those in place. Now I probably need to put some weld on the top too, but I just wanted to get them in there and get them ready to go. So, but those will be our back brackets for the back of the seats. So we'll weld these into the floor for these seats to just bolt down onto, and that should get it exactly where we want it for these I think it's 05 to 09 GT500 seats. So alright, so now that we got those brackets made, what we do on this front part is we're going to use these 1/4 inch spacers, one and a washer on each side to make sure we're not pushing through our hole. Now technically I should probably weld these here, once they're in place, but I don't. Now this is going to be kind of a pain in the ass, simply because on that seat, the way the electronics work, the bolt gets held in place by the actual bracket. It slides under it pretty well, and it can hold the bolt in place. Where on the manual seat, it's kind of got a lot of room, so that screw is going to be able to, you know, move all about. So, but what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull our seat in here, and we're going to get it in place in the front, and then we're going to really figure out where we need to weld these in place for the back. So, about to do that. So as you can see, I've got the front in with the 1/4 inch spacers. I got a pretty even gap right here. And then I've got my back brackets sitting in place on either side. So now I just need to tack weld these in so I know exactly, I get them where I want them. So that's basically what we gotta do next. And like I said, these are kind of a pain in the ass, so I might go ahead and weld this bolt to the bracket to make it easier on myself, because it's just such a pain in the ass trying to get these screwed down when they're always shifting up and down on you. Just like that, there it is. We've got our back brackets welded in place, and then just our spacers and our washers there. Like I said, I went ahead and tacked these bolts in place on the front too. So now our seat can be mounted, no problem. And that's how we get our buckets in. Now, if anybody's got a bench seat, you need to buy one of these brackets from AMD. This is your support for your bucket seats. So I took this and welded it in with my new AMD floor, so you should be able to do that on stock floors too. Now the only thing I can say is these 1/4 inch, you know, spacers, you might need something different depending on how your floor is set up. So with my initial floor, which was patched and welded all together, I had to have 1 inch spacer on one side and a 1/4 inch on the other. So you'll just have to kind of figure it out and get them level.
In my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping out.